Hello everybody, Captain Jirwa here, bringing you another Pokemon Online battle. This time it's an RU battle, again. This time it's with a team that I built around Swellow, because Swellow basically outspeeds the entire tier, and it's pretty powerful too with Guts. I have a Hitmonchan for spinning, a little Mola to pass wishes to it, a Lantern to take electric type attacks, but it kind of makes me have a huge grass weakness, and then Mesprit for passing a healing wish, and then Rotom-C just as a Scarfer. Looking at his team, he has a Rotom-C, which my team is extremely weak to. Like, I really do not have much for it, so he's going to have the upper hand on that aspect, and he also has two things which should be UU in the form of Bisharp and Houndoom, but that's Pokemon Online for you, so anyway, let's just get right into the battle. Alright, so I'm just going to lead off straight with my Lantern. It is Choice Spec, so it can hit this Crustle the hardest, and I have a Hydro Pump also, and since it's physically defensive, but I am just going to go straight for the Hydro Pump on the first turn. Looking back on it, I should have gone for the Volt Switch, because that probably still would have done a butt ton of damage, and I could have just gone into Hitmonchan the next turn and tried to get the Rapid Spin off. And here, I tried to get the Rapid Spin off, but the switch to Golurk was really obvious, and I should have predicted it, but I didn't, just because I thought that maybe he wouldn't know I had Rapid Spin, because Hitmonchan is usually like offensive with Life Orb. But anyway, I always punch the Golurk. Now I know he won't want to lose his Golurk, so I go for Rapid Spin, which kills the Crustle, which I thought was really awesome, because not only did I spin away the rocks, I got rid of his one hazard setter. But yeah, he brings in Rotom-C, which again is the huge threat to my team. I go into Lantern thinking he might Volt Switch, but of course he just leaves Storms. He had no reason not to, since my two resists are pretty frail, and yeah, anyway. Bring in Rotom, since he still does have the Golurk left, I am just going to go straight for the Leaf Storm. Looking back on it, I probably should have Volt Switched though, because if he brought in Golurk, I have a little Mola, so it doesn't really matter if he brings it in or not. But yeah, I go for Leaf Storm as he brings in Houndoom, and as I switch out to a little Mola, he's going to Pursuit me, which is a pretty good play. I thought maybe, because even though the switch was obvious, he could have gone for like a Fire Blast, which still would have done a lot to everything on my team, but I don't know, it's whatever. And interestingly enough, he brings in Bisharp on Alola, which is kind of weird, because even though he can set up a bunch of times, like a +4 Sucker Punch is not going to be able to kill me, so he really had no reason to just send it in on Alola, since the only way he can hurt me is with Sucker Punch, which is dependent on me using an attacking move. So yeah, he loses his Bisharp, which it's not too bad, but it's still not too bad for him, because he gets to bring in Rotom-C again, which again is a humongous threat to my team, because yeah, it's just a huge threat. So I bring in Mesprit, and he goes for Volt Switch, and I do have some special defense in EVs, so I can take it pretty well, but just gonna be able to bring in his Houndoom, and I thought he would Pursuit here, but he makes a smart play, goes for the Crunch. He knows I was gonna predict Pursuit because he used it last time, but I get some good damage off with the Signal Beam, and that damage is gonna make it so he's just gonna die to that freaking whatchamacallit, Life Orb. So yeah, anyway, I just bring in Hitmonchan since I'm low on health, and he brings in Rotom-C, and I just decide I need to get damage on this thing at this point. It is too huge of a threat, and yeah. Anyway, he brings in Poliwrath, I bring in my Rotom, and I go for Leaf Storm since he has the Golurk, and it misses the first time, and I miss again, but he goes for Earthquake, either because he felt bad or he was predicting a switch. But it's kind of weird, because I also had a Swellow, and I guess he thought I'd bring in a little Mole, and that would do the most to it, but whatever. He brings in his own Rotom again, and I have a choice. I either have to sack Swellow or Alola, and I decide to sack my Alola, because I know if I do that, I can bring in my Swellow the next turn and get off a Brave Bird. But looking back on it, that might not have been the smartest move to do, because here, after I take him out with Brave Bird, I'm going to take a butt ton of recoil, and he can just bring in his own Rotom-C, and then proceed to lock himself into HP Fire. And if I had my own Alola left, I could have possibly played around that Rotom. I'm not sure, because I would have sacked Swellow as he Volt Switched into Poliwrath, and I could have brought my own Rotom in and gone for a Leaf Storm. but then he could have brought his own Rotom in. It's all kind of shady from there, and he probably still would have won. But yeah, anyway, that was still a great battle, very close, very down to the wire, and yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a comment. I do enjoy reading them, and other than that, I'll hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you all later. Peace!